Food for all means satisfaction for farmers. Welcome to section 12 of chapter 6 of the Holy Quran. Chapter 6 being Surat al-An'am. Surat An'am, that surah devoted to cattle. Let's go. Inna Allah falikul habbi wa nawa. It is God who causeth the seed grain, habbi, and the date stone to split and sprout. Habbi, seed grain. Nawa, date stone to split and sprout. Falik. Narjul, Narjul Hayun, Narjul Haya, Mina Lele, Narjul Haya, Mina Lele. He causeth the living, Haya, to issue from the dead, Minal Meti, Narjul Haya, Minal Meti, Meti, dead. Zalikum Allahu. No, Zalikum Allahu. No, I will finish it. Zalikum Allahu. No. Yes, Zalikum Allahu. That is God. He is the one. No. Yes. Yes, that is God. Sorry, I didn't see it in the English side. That is God. Zalikum Allahu. That is God. Fa'anna tufakuna. Fa'anna tufakuna. Then how are ye deluded away from the truth? So tufakuna alone means being deluded from the truth. Zalikum Allah. Fa'anna tufakuna. That is God. Then how are ye deluded away from the truth? Question mark. We have two ways to read 9:18 and 3, 9:18, 9:119, and 9:20. Let's go to 9:18. It is he who causes. We are going to fallicle. Who causes? Who causes? The false ideas of intercession, demigods, gods, favors, etc. now vanish like no. I did it. I'm rereading 9:18, which we did in the previous video. We are talking about phallic. Another beautiful nature passage. That's 9:18 to the sign I just read, which is 95, sign 95. Another beautiful nature passage, referring to God's wonderful artistry in his creation. In how few and how simple words the whole pageant of creation is placed before us. Beginning from our humble animal needs and dependence on the vegetable world. Dependence on the vegetable world, we are asked to contemplate the interaction of the living and the dead. Of the living and the dead. I've missed my line again. of the living and the dead. Uh, here, here is a teaching, comma, referring not only through physical life, but to the higher life above the physical plane, comma, and dash. Not only to individual life, but to the collection of life nations, but to the collection of life nations. Full stop. Then we take a peep into the daily miracle of morning and noon and night. I don't think I completed this thing, this verse. Tofakun. I think we did it, yes. We did it. Okay, then we take a peep into the daily miracle of morning, noon, and night and pass on to the stars that guide the distant mariner or distant mariner, full stop, from the word marine, the distant mariner, full stop. Uh, we rise still, we rise still higher to the mystery of the to the mystery of the countless individuals. Uh, to the mystery of the countless individuals from the one human soul, comma, dash, their sojourn and their destiny, full stop. So we get back to the heavens, semicolon. From the one human soul, dash, dash, to the sojourn of the heavens. The description of the luscious, or the description of the luscious fruits, which the gentle rain from heaven, gentle rain from heaven is in brackets. Do I say brackets? I've forgotten the word already. Inverted commas. Gentle rain and heaven is inverted commas. So we get back to the heavens, the description of the luscious fruits which the gentle rain and heaven produces leaves us to the leaves us to contemplate the spiritual fruits which faith will provide for us with the aid of the showers of God's mercy. With the aid of the showers of God's mercy. And that's 918 to sign 95. Let's go to the next note, which is 919. It's against spreading. That's rather phallical. What I read was causing seed to bringing about seed and date stone. Now we are going to sprout phallic. 19. The seed grain and the date stone are selected as types in the vegetable kingdom, showing how our physical life depends on it. The fruits mentioned later in brackets in 699. This very verse 99, we haven't gotten there yet. In 699, start another allegory. Which we shall notice later. Yes, full stop. Botanists will notice that the seed grain includes the cereals in brackets such as wheat, barley, rice, millet, etc., brackets close, includes the cereals, which are monocotyledons, as well as pulses. It's one of my school days when we were learning monocotyledons, which are monocotyledons as well as the pulses in brackets such as beans, peas, gram, etc. brackets close. and other seeds, which are dicotyledons, and other seeds which are dicotyledons. Full stop. These two represent the most important classes and food grains, while the date palm, a monocotyledon, represents for Arabia both food, fruit, uh, confectionery, thatch and pillars for houses, shady groves in oases, and a standard measure of wealth and well-being. Full stop. Split and sprout, that's phallic. Split and sprout in italics and inverted commas. Split and sprout. Both ideas are included in the root phallic. In the root phallic. Mm. And a third uh, is expressed by the word cleave. So phallic could mean cleave or sprout, or split and sprout. And a third is expressed by the word cleave in the next verse for the action of evolving daybreak from dark, daybreak from the dark. So those of us who know about the verse Surah 119, Kul A'udhu Birabbin Falak, the Lord who splits, the Lord who cleaves, day from night, or ninth, yeah, I think day from night. So the meaning of Falak is there. For the action of involving daybreak from the dark, full stop. For vegetables, split and sprout double process, represents a double process. Column 1, the seed divides, and 2, one part shoots up, seeking the light and forming leaves and the visible parts of the future tree, and the other part digs down into the dark, forming the roots and seeking just that sustenance from the soil, which is adapted for the particular plant. That's wonderful. The commentator is drawing us back to the to germination. The seed, part of it wants light, the other part wants darkness. Pairing here again. Adapted for that particular plant, full stop. This is just one small instance of the judgment and ordering of God referred to in the next verse, which we are going to now. We have which we'll go to after the next note 920. We now go to note 920, living, issue from the living, the alternating of death and life. In other words, 920. This does not mean that in physical nature there are no limits between life and non-life, between the organic and the non-organic, full stop. In fact, physicists are baffled at the barrier between them and frankly confess that they cannot solve the mystery of life. They can solve all mysteries, but not of life. Okay, full stop. If there is such a barrier in physical nature, is it not all the more wonderful that God can create life out of nothing? A question mark. He has but to say be, and it is. Kun fayakun. So God has but to say kun, fayakun, such that you hardly distinguish between borders, life and death and whatnot. Hardly. Mm. Be and it is. Full stop. He can bring life. He can bring life from non-life and annihilate life. He can bring life from non-life and annihilate life. Full stop. But there are two other senses in which we contemplate the contrast between the living and the dead. One, we have just been speaking of the botanical world. Full stop. Take it as a whole and see the contrast between the winter of death and the spring of revivification, and the spring of revivification, comma, the summer of growth and the autumn of decay. The summer of growth and the autumn of decay. I think I have to let me note something down. Where is the autumn of decay? And the autumn of decay, leading back to the death of winter, leading back to the death of winter. Full stop. Here is a cycle of living from dead and death from living. Two, we read point one. Point two, take our spiritual life, individual or collective. Mm. We rise from the darkness of spiritual nothingness. We rise from the darkness of spiritual nothingness to the light of spiritual life. No, to the light, to the light of spiritual life. Let me take it again. We rise from the darkness of spiritual nothingness to the light of spiritual life. Full stop. And if we do not follow the spiritual laws, God will take away that life and we shall be again as dead. Full stop. We may die many deaths. The keys of life and death are in God's hands and nobody else, not a human being, are in God's hands. So if a human being kills you, it means that it is in God's hands. God is aware of it. So the keys of life are the keys of life and death are in God's hands. Full stop. Neither life nor death are fortuitous. Neither life nor death are fortuitous things. Behind them both is God, and only He. Indeed, behind both life and death are God's hands, and only He, God. Let's go to the next verse, which we've been referred to already, and that is verse or ayah 96. Falikul asbahi waja'ala layli sakanan. Falikul asbahi waja'ala layli sakanan. He is that cleaveth the daybreak into brackets from the dark. He makes the night. No, let's stop there. Falikul waja'ala layli sakanan. Okay, let me continue. Waja'ala layla sakanan. Washamsa wal kamara husbanan. Washamsa wa ashamsa wal kamara husbanan. He He it is that cleareth the daybreak, the brackets from the dark. He makes the night for rest, sakanan, and tranquility. Mm. He makes the night sakanan and tranquility. Mm. He makes the night uh, for rest, he, for rest and tranquility. That's sakanan. Mm. Washamsa wal kamara husbaanan. Mm. And the sun and moon, Shamsa sun, Kamara moon, and the sun and the moon for the reckoning into brackets of time. Mm. Husbaanan for reckoning of time. Mm. Then Zalika Takdirul Azizul Alim. Zalika Takdir Al Azimi. Such is the judgment. Such is the judgment. Uh, yeah. Such is the judgment and order of him in brackets. Him is in brackets. So that is the judgment and order of God, in other words. The exalted in power and omniscient. The exalted of power and omniscient. Mm. Takdir, Aziz, Alim. Alim, omniscient. We have how many notes? We have just one note to read, and that is note 921. Note 921 is against reckoning of time, talking about the planets, moon, sun, whatnot. 921. The night, the day, the sun, the moon, dash, the great astronomical universe of God. Full stop. How far and yet how near to us? How far and yet how near to us? Exclamation mark. God's universe is boundless, and we can barely comprehend even its relations to us. Full stop. But this is last. But this last, but this last we must try to do if we want to be numbered with the people who know, if we want to be numbered with the people who know. Mm. And the people who know is in inverted commas. The people who know is in inverted commas. Uh, then Takdir in italics. Compare chapter 691. Mm. Compare chapter 6, this very chapter, with 91, note 909. We did already. Viewers, we can go back and then verify it. We are asked to compare chapter 6, verse sign 91 and note, and the note is 901. Then chapter 6, sign 149 and the note is 655. The note is 655. I think that's all for note 921 of sign 96. Let's go to the next sign 97. هو الذي جعل لكم النجوم هو الذي جعل لكم النجوم وتهتدوا بها في ظلمات البر والبحر. It is he who makes the stars, into brackets, as beacons for you, and nujum, stars, as beacons for you, that ye may guide yourselves with their help. Mm. لِتَهْتَدُوا بِهَا, and that you may guide yourself uh, with their help through the dark spaces of land and sea. في ظلمات البر والبحر. Barri, land, Barri, sea. We did it before. Uh, قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم تعلمون. قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم تعلمون. Uh, we detail our signs. فصلنا, we detail our signs for people who know. لقوم تعلمون. We detail our signs for people who know, not for people who don't know. We can say for people who wish to know. Here maybe for people who wish to know, not for people who don't wish to know. The note to read is 922, and it's against darkness of land and sea. Barri wal Bahri, 922. See the last note. Full stop. At sea, or in deserts or forests, or in fairy scenes forlorn. These are in italics. So at sea, or in deserts or forests, then, or in inverted commas. Did I say italics? In inverted commas. These are inverted commas. So from in fairy scenes and fallen, these are inverted commas. In fairy scenes, in fairy scenes fallen. So let me take it again. See last note. No. At sea, or in deserts or forests, or in fairy scenes and fallen. Full stop. Whenever we sleep, no, not full stop. In fallen. Dash. Whenever we sweep over wide spaces, whenever we sweep over wide spaces, it is the stars that act as our guides. Yes. Such as the sun and moon have already been mentioned as our measures of time. Indeed, even in night, not on land, in night where you sleep in the open, you observe the stars, they can guide you as to time, what time of the day it is. When they start in the movement and you look at their movements, you will see. I usually look at a group of stars and I know what time, or I can guess wisely what time of the night it is. On land, Barry. Barry. And that's all for note 922 to sign 97. Let's go to the next sign, 98. So, like we were told, you can see that in sign 9, uh, uh, in the previous sign, phallic meant split and sprout. And in the next sign, it is cleavage. Two synonymous words, in other words. All right. Let's go to 93 now. Am I 90? Am I 93? No, 98. 98. Which sign is 2, 3? هو الذي أنشأكم من نفس واحدة. It is he. It is he who had produced you from a single soul, نفس واحدة. فمستقر ومستودع. فمستقر ومستودع. da'un. Let me take it again. Famustakarun wa mustawda'un. Mm. From a single soul. Then there is a resting place and a repository. Resting place is mustakarun. Repository is mustawda'un. There is a note to read, but not until we finish the verse. Kad fasalna al-ayati liqawmil tafkahun. Liqawmil tafkahun. We detail our signs for people who understand. In the previous verse, it was Kaumi Ya Lamun. In this verse, it ends with Kaumil Yaf Kahun Yamalun, people who know or want to know. And here is people who understand. Yaf Kahun. Okay, let's go to the notes now. We have two notes, 9, 2, 3, against producing you from single soul. 9, 2, 3. Produced in italics and then semicolon. Ansha, 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 that means produce. And we have a mathematical sign, equals, equals made you from, comma, increase, comma, develop, comma, reach maturity, semicolon. Another of the process of creation, full stop. This supplements note 120 to sign 2. This supplements note 120 to chapter 2, sign 117, and note 916 to sign 6. No, to and note 912 to verse to chapter 6, sign 94. Full stop. It's one of the wonders of God's creation, comma, that from one person we have grown to be so many, except those who believe in Darwin's theory. From one person we have grown to be so many. And each individual has so many faculties and capacities. And yet, we are all one. Full stop. In the next verse, we have the allegory of grapes and other fruits, semicolon, colon. All grapes may be similar to look at, yet each variety has a distinctive flavor and other distinctive qualities, and each individual grape may have its own special qualities. Full stop. So for man, full stop. Yes, in my earlier videos, I did pairing as well as diversity. And this is under that, dash diversity. Now we go to the next note, 924. 924 is against repository. It's against repository. Mustakara wa mustadaw da'a. Mustakara wa and mustadaw. Am I right? 924. Yes, it's against repository. I can't find them. All right, let's go. Mustakara wa mustawda'un. That's where we are going. 924. In the sojourn of life, we must respond to God's hand in fashioning us by making full use of our faculties. And we must get ready for our departure into the life that will be eternal. But we really get ready for it. You are there, and all of a sudden, back to time, boom, you are gone. We don't get ready for it. But I think some of us are getting ready to read for it by reading this. Mm. By reading this, we are indeed getting ready for the next eternal life, for life that will be eternal. And that is note 2924 to sign 98. Let's go to the next sign, which we've been told to anticipate. هو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء. It is he who sendeth down rain, ma'an, from the skies. Sama'i mina sama'i. Ma'an. فأخرجنا به نبات كل شيء. With it we produce vegetation of all kinds. كل شيء. فأخرجنا منه حجرا. فأجرنا منه حجرا of all kinds. From some we produce green crops. Crops is in brackets. Hadran means green, and crops is in brackets. Green crops, green what? Green crops. So the brackets there, and therefore the brackets there. Green crops, out of which we produce. Hadran. Tahraju. Tahraju minhu, out of which we produce. Haban mutarakinan, out of which we produce close compounded grain. Haban mutarakiban. Waminan nahli. Min zul'iha. Waminan nahli min zulmiha. Compounded green, out of the date palm. Sorry, I'm holding light and yet I'm reading wrongly. And out of the date palm and its sheets. Wa minan nali min tal'iha, not zalmiha. Wa minan nali min tal'iha. And date palm and its sheets, into brackets, or spades. Spades is spelled Spates, in case I don't call it well. And tal'iha. Kinwatun daniyatun. Kinwatun daniyatun. Then come clusters of dates. Come is in brackets. Without it, it reads clusters of dates hanging low and near. Where is this? Kinwatun da niyatun. Wa jannati min a'nabi. And then there are is in brackets. Without it, it reads, and gardens of grapes and olives. Wa jannati min a'nabi wa zaytunu. Olives. Wa arumana mushtabiha. Wa arumana mushtabihan. Wa rumanan mushtabihan. And pomegranates and pomegranates, each similar in kind. Pomegranates is arumana, mushtabihan, and pomegranates each similar in kind. In kind is in brackets. Without it, it simply reads wa pomegranates each similar. وغير المتشابه وغير المتشابه وغير متشابه ورهمانا مشتبها وغير متشابه. And pomegranates, each similar in kind in brackets, each different in variety. Each different in variety. That's وغير المتشابه. Then we go. انظروا إلى تمرات إذا أثمر. انظر إلى تمرات. انظر إلى sorry, it's not انظر. It's انظروا إلى تمره. انظروا إلى تمره إذا أثمر. وينئه. انظروا إلى تمره إذا أثمر وينئه. When they begin to bear fruit, is a atmara, is a I can't see well. Is a atmara, and when they begin to bear fruit, feed your eyes with the fruit and the ripeness thereof. Inzuru ala tamara, on the fruits, is a atmara, and when they begin to bear fruit, and the ripeness thereof, wa yan-ihi, and the brightness thereof. Inna fi zalika la ayatin liqaumin yu'minun. Inna zalika la ayatin liqaumin yu'minun. Behold, in these things are signs, ayatin, for people who believe. Liqaumin yu'minun. So here is people who believe. From Yalanun to Yaf'akun to Yu'minun. From Yalamun, people who know Yaf'akun, people who understand, to Yu'minun, people who believe. When you know, you understand, and you must believe because you understand what you have learned. So, Komil Yu'minun. And that is sign 99. Let's go to the notes. The notes are 925, 926, 927, 928. 4 notes in one. 25, 26, 28, and 29. Let's go to 925 first. Rain from the skies. Rain from the skies. Our allegory now brings us to maturity, the fruits, the harvest, the vintage. Vintage is spelled Vintage. Vintage. In case I don't call it well. Sometimes I'm not normal. Okay. The harvest, the vintage, full stop. Though the seed we can, it's not though. It wasn't making sense, so I had to come back. Through the seed, we came up from nothingness of life. Through the seed, we came up from nothingness of life, semicolon. We lived our daily life of rest and work and passed the milestones of time. Milestones is hyphenated and passed the milestones of time, semicolon. We had a spiritual experience of transversing through the spaces in the spiritual world, comma, guiding our course through the star of faith, semicolon. Uh, we grow, semicolon. And now for the harvest of the vintage, exclamation mark. So will man, so will man if he has produced the fruits of faith. So will man grow if he has produced the fruits of faith. Mm. He goes through these stages. And that's note 925. Let's go to note, so the second note, 926 of sign 99. 926. 926. Each fruit dash, whether it is grapes or olives or pomegranates, dash looks alike in its species. And yet, each variety may be different in flavor, consistency, shape, size, use, or color, juice, or oil contents, comma, proportion of seed to fruit, etc. Full stop. In each variety, individuals may be different. Full stop. In fact, even if you look at individuals, we are very different. Tall, short, fat, slim, and also our voices. Mm. So it's not only non-human, it's not only humans, including non-humans. Mm. So in each variety, individuals may be different. Full stop. Apply the allegory to man. Oh God, it is there. Apply the allegory to man, whose varied spiritual fruit may be equally different and yet equally valuable. Indeed, indeed. We are all humans and we are valuable. Meanwhile, we have thieves, honest people, religious people, non-religious people, liars, truthful people, and whatnot. Variety all around God's creation. What a wonderful God. Allahu Akbar. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Glory be to Him. Mm. Uh, oh, I'm lost. May be equally different and yet equally valuable. Yes. Now we go to the next note, 27927. And what is it against? And ripens thereof. Mm. And ripens thereof. Mm. Yang ihi, I believe. Yang ihi, I believe. And so we finish this wonderful allegory. Full stop. Search, search through the world's treasure. Search through the world's literature and see if you can find another such melody or hymn. Hymn is spelled Himn. Such melody or hymn. Dash, comma, and dash. So fruity in its literary flavor, so profound in its spiritual meaning. So fruity in its literary flavor, comma, so profound in its spiritual meaning. All right. Now we go to the next note, 928. 92, no, 927 rather, I think. Mm. 127 Saturday. Yeah. We go to next note, 928. And 928 is for those who believe the Komen, Yomino 928. There is a refrain in this beautiful description, in this beautiful descriptive verses. There is a refrain in this beautiful descriptive verses. Mm. Well, the word here is this and not this. Oh, it's not. It's this. THIS. I am not writing it. I may be wrong. I don't know, but it is there. There is in this beautiful descriptive verses. I think it should be in these. THESE. I think so. I think so. I may be wrong anyway. So viewers, you can also reason with me. There is a refrain in this beautiful descriptive verses. Full stop. In verse 97, it is, we detail our signs for people who know. Oh, I already went there. That's in verse 97 or sign 97. So far, we were speaking of the things we see around us every day. Full stop. Knowledge is the appropriate instrument for these things. Full stop. In verse 98, we read, we detail our signs for people who understand. Yafkahun. For people who understand. Full stop. Understanding is a higher faculty than knowledge. Understanding is a higher faculty than knowledge. Understanding is a higher faculty than knowledge, and it's necessary for seeing the mystery and meaning of this life. At the end of verse 99, we have, in these things there are signs for people who believe. Here, we are speaking of the real fruits of spiritual life. Yes, you can see. You can see. Real fruits of spiritual life. Full stop. For them, faith is necessary as bringing us nearer to God. Faith is necessary as bringing us nearer to God. And that's note 928, the fourth and last note to sign 99. Let's go to the next sign now, which is 100. وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ الْجِنَّةِ وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ الْجِنَّةِ. Yet they make the genes equal to God. Yet they make the genes equal to God. Shuraka lillahi. Pardon me. They make the genes equal to God. Shuraka equal. Jinna, genes. Wahalakakum. Wahalakahum. Let me read it again. وَجَعَلَ لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ الْجِنَّةِ وَخَلَقَكُمْ وَأَلَكَهُمْ. And yet we created them. Okay. With God. Though God did create them, the genes. Though God did create the genes. Here it is though God did create them. God did create them. But here it is God did create the genes when we come to the translation. Wallahu halakahum. Wallahu halakahum, yeah. Wa haraku, wa, wa haraku lahu, wa haraku lahu banina, wa haraku lahu banina, wa haraku lahu banina, wa banati. And they falsely haven't, no, yet God created, and they falsely having no knowledge, attribute to him sons and daughters, banina, wa banati. Mm? And they falsely having no knowledge here should have been in brackets as usual, but because it's not there in the Arabic side, let me read it well. Mm? وَجَعَلَهُ وَجَ- yeah, وَحَرَكُوا لَهُ بَنِينَ, with God through banana. Haraku, okay, it may be there. Haraku may mean having no knowledge. Having no knowledge, attribute to him, to God, sons and daughters. Haraku lahu. Sons, wabanina. Bigeri ilmi. Okay, bigeri ilmi is there. Bigeri ilmi, without any knowledge. So you see, geri ilmi comes, without knowledge comes last in the Arabic side, and in the English side it doesn't. Mm, mm. And though, and they falsely having no knowledge, it doesn't come at the end. Attribute to him sons and daughters. Mm. Uh, Bigiri ilmi, without knowledge, having no knowledge. Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yasifun. Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yasifun. This phrase usually ends prayers in Arabic or in the Quran when Muslims pray. They say amma yasifun, amma yasifun. Now those who don't understand it will understand amma yasifun. Was subhanahu, the whole phrase was subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yasifun. It ends in many prayers, almost all prayers in Arabic, if you want prayer to have a meaning. Uh, Sons and daughters. Praise and glory be to him, subhanahu. Praise and glory be to him. Into brackets, for he is. For he is in brackets above what they attribute to him. Without the brackets, it simply reads, praise and glory be to him above what they attribute to him. So in prayers, we always say it, almost every prayer, or most of the prayers, glory to him above what they attribute to him. In other words, we are denouncing idolatry or any that worship other than God. And that is sign 100 of section 12 of chapter 6 of the Holy Quran. I think we have a note to read. Let's see. Yes, we have a note to read. 929. Making genes equal to God. 929. Here we have 921. 29. Genes in italics and then colon. Who are they? Who are they? Who are genes? Is the question. In chapter 18, XVII, sign 50, we are told that Iblis was one of the jinns. And it is suggested that that was why he disobeyed the command of God, even though he was with the angels. Learned ones say he was caught by angels to God, so he was with them, not because he was an angel, but because he was caught by angels to the presence of God. Okay. That was why he disobeyed the command of God. Full stop. But in that passage and other similar passages, we are told that God commanded the angels to bow down to Adam. That's in 27 sign 50. Mm. 27, I think it is An-Naml. Mm. I think it's An-Naml. Surah Al-Naml. Uh, angels to bow down to Adam. We are told that God commanded the angels to bow down to Adam, and they obeyed except Iblis. And they obeyed except Iblis. Illa Iblisa, in the Arabic side. They obeyed except Iblis. That implies that Iblis had been of the company of angels. Full stop. In many passages, jinns and men are spoken of together, and we are told to refer to uh, Surah LV. LV means, I think, 45, or let's stick to the Roman numerals. Full stop. In Surah LV, signs 14 to 15, in Surah LV, signs 14 to 15, man is stated to have been created from clay, while jinns from a flame of fire, smokeless, we are told, from a flame of fire, full stop. The root meaning of Junnah, comma, in italics, Junnu, comma, also in italics, is to be covered or hidden. So this is good lesson for us. And Jannah, Yujunnu, in the active voice, to cover or hide, as in 676. To cover or hide, as in 676. Let me note it down. Sometimes I read without noting. Oh, I noted it already in my previous readings. I noted it already. The root meaning of Junnah, comma, Yajunnu, is to be covered or hidden. And Junnah, Yajunnu, in the active voice, then in inverted commas, to cover or hide. To cover or hide. Full stop. As in 676, we've done it. As in chapter 6, sign 76, we've done it. Then in brackets, both the Quran and the Hadith describe the jinn as a definite species of living beings. They are created out of fire, and like man, may believe or disbelieve, accept or reject guidance. Full stop. The authoritative Islamic texts show that they are not merely a hidden force or a spirit. Full stop. They are personalized beings. They are personalized beings who enjoy a certain amount of free will and thus will be called to account. So they are just like us. They have the free will to do whatever they can. They can torment men or they can have mercy on men. Men can use them for good work. Men can use them for evil work against others. Because, like men, they will be called to account. And that is note 9. That is note 929. That's note 929 to sign 100 of section 12 of the Holy Quran. I think I can give my jaws a break now until we come to the next video, where we will begin with section 13. Sign 101 begins section 13. God willing. Thank you very much. Ilalaka, bye bye. May God be with you all.